Hello, I hope that you are doing great. In the previous video, basically what we have done is to define the navigation bar, and in the GitHub account you also have the code to define the footer. Basically now what we are going to do is to create the section header inside the home page, okay? Then let's move on. Here basically you have where we finished the previous lecture is you have again the GitHub account, and then we have the navigation bar and the footer, and what we are going to do now is to work in the section. And basically what we are going to do, as usual, we start in the HTML document. This is the boilerplate that you can download from the GitHub account, and here we are going to define a class for the section of section header home. Okay, then we are going to define a container, and inside the container what we are going to define is another div with a class of header home, then header home, and inside here we are going to have a title that is h1 is going to be home, and inside here we are going to have a small paragraph that I'm going to put some lorem, I don't know, 24 or 25 for example, and below the paragraph we are going to have a registration button and a login button, and to do that we are going to create a div with a class of container buttons header home. We click enter, and now inside here we are going to create another two divs, one for each button div, and I'm going to create a link here that is A, and it's going to be, we are going to create this link later on, but now is to it set. And here we are going to use a Bootstrap class. I would like to show you how this works, even though I don't like it. It's good that you know how to use it. We are going to create a Bootstrap button with a primary color, and the button is going to be large, and we have a margin of 2. Okay, and that's all. You have more properties in the file, but I'm not going to go further with this. You can copy and paste once that you understand the logic. This is the important thing. This is the register button, and we are going to do exactly the same for the login. We copy the div, we go down, paste it, and here we are going to have the login button. Okay, and below this, below the header, okay, I forget to do something here. Yeah, I'm going to minimize this div. In fact, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to Control X. I cut it because I have forgotten to create. I'm going to create two divs more. One is going to be, this is going to be a box, and below this box I'm going to have another box, another div box, and then inside the first box is where we are going to put the header and the paragraphs and the button. Okay, and here in the next box what we are going to do is to place the picture, some image, and here is basically an image file, and I'm going to place an src, and it's going to be URL 4, and we are going to go to the folder static, and the file name equal to icons carbon app svg, and here basically we have a width of 300 pixels, 325 pixels, and a height of 325 pixels, 325 pixels, and yeah, alt is going to be empty. Okay, and then if we save this and we refresh the web page, basically icons, I make a mistake here, it's carbon, I make a spelling mistake. Then we have this is something that we don't like it. I think this is solely pixels. Okay, now basically what we are going to do is to define all the classes for this, because we don't want to have this is a very poor layout. And basically what we have to do first is go to the home CSS file, have to open the layout CSS file, and basically here in the layout CSS file we have, given that we are using Bootstrap, we have to introduce the Bootstrap elements, and it's very easy. If you go to Bootstrap and getting started, and you go here, you have some indications, and basically this is the link to introduce CSS classes, Bootstrap CSS classes in our web page. You can copy this, control copy, and then you go to the link, you go to the web page, and then you have this information here, okay? And you paste it. I have already done this, and then you have to take this information from the GitHub, okay? Now basically what I'm going to do is to define the home CSS elements, and I'm not going to type everything because otherwise this is going to take forever. I'm going to copy and paste the information, and I go to explain this step by step. Go here, paste this information, I Control S, I go here and I'm going to refresh the page. Now basically what we have done is to change the color, okay? This is the first thing that I have done here. The second thing that I'm going to do is also to define the head. I'm going to introduce it and to make it flexible. This is what we are doing here, is go here, and if we refresh it, we have everything is flexible, okay? Then the next thing that I would like to do is to define the two boxes that we have created, okay? Then I copy these two, and here basically what we are going to do is to define the two boxes that we have created. I save this, Control S, and save it. I think that I make a mistake in the home HTML. There are some mistake here, and then to avoid these things happen, and it's how it is, and then to avoid typing everything, I go to the home HTML file that I have here, and I'm going to copy everything, okay? I'm going to copy all the things that I have in the Control A, Control copy, Control S, I go here, I refresh it. Now this is basically I make a mistake in the HTML file, and therefore this is basically making a very poor layout. And now I'm going to erase this to show what is going on. I erase this, I save it. If I refresh it, I have this. It's not what we want to have, okay? And then basically what I do here, if I Control V, okay, Control Fet, Control Fet again. If I save this and I refresh it, now I have, this is basically what we have done here, is basically define these two boxes here, this one and this one. Now I move to the next step. I go here to the home CSS file, and I would like to define the last classes, that is basically to define the container with the buttons. Okay, I go here, I type this, Control S again, I refresh it, and basically now this changes the colors. When we have a hover movement, we are changing this. The last thing that we are going to do as usual is basically to make this screen responsible. Then if I go here, I have a media query, like in the previous video. I copy this, I paste this information here, Control S, and now if I refresh this and I make the screen smaller, arrive one moment in which this basically switch and become like this. It's coming basically from a horizontal line to vertical. And if I go again, if I click F12 here and we select the mobile phone here, I don't know why this is giving me problems. Okay, now it's working. If I go home, I have here, this is how we should see this in an iPhone. If I go here to Samsung, I don't know, I have no idea about mobile phone. This is how we are going to see this in a Samsung. If we go to methodology, is empty. We go to Carbon app, it's still empty, and that's all. Okay, this basically concludes the third video in this chapter, in which basically what we have done is to modify the header. I make a mistake typing the HTML code. This is nothing wrong. It's usually these things happen. You will learn how to fix it. Then this is the reason, because you have everything in the GitHub account. If you make a mistake, just be sure that you copy the right code, paste it. But the most important thing is that you go step by step and try to do this by yourself. I'm making mistakes, and then also make the connection between the HTML file and the CSS classes that we have created, and then modify the CSS classes one by one to see how, when you change a property, change the layout. Okay, see you in the next video.